to Dr. Anima Upadhyay's Chemistry Lab videos. Today's video is about the determination of sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate in caustic soda. And I am uploading this video on special request from my special viewers who requested to me to upload this video on this topic. So before I start this video, I would like to tell you to please take a pen and paper so that you can write down the reactions and calculations to understand the lecture thoroughly. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do it now. And also don't forget to like and share the videos among your friends and colleagues. So let us begin with this video. To determine the sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate, that is NaOH and Na2CO3 in a given alkali mixture or caustic soda, we have to undergo a simple acid-base titration using double indicators. So we can say that it is an acid-base titration with a double indicator method. And we require phenolphthalein and methyl orange indicators to perform this experiment. Why we require two indicators? Because it is a two-step process. In the first step, the sodium hydroxide is neutralized completely, but sodium carbonate is only half neutralized. You can write down the reactions. NaOH plus HCl will give NaCl plus H2O. It is completely neutralized. But Na2CO3 plus HCl will give NaHCO3 plus NaCl. So, the Na2CO3 is converted into sodium bicarbonate. 1 mole of carbonate is neutralized by 1 mole of hydrogen in the HCl. And it is converted to NaHCO3. The pH of the alkali mixture was earlier around 10, and now after the formation of sodium bicarbonate it has reached to 8.4. So the phenolphthalein which we have added in the first step has now turned to colorless, from pink to colorless. So it is no longer available for determination of the complete neutralization of sodium carbonate. Therefore, we require another indicator which will tell us the complete neutralization of all the alkali present in the given alkali mixture. At this pH, when we add methyl orange, the solution becomes yellow, because methyl orange gives yellow color in slightly basic medium. And when we will add hydrochloric acid further to the titrant, then it will turn to red at the end point. You can write down the reaction. NaHCO3 plus HCl will give NaCl plus H2CO3. And the H2CO3 completely ionizes into H2O and CO2. At this stage, the pH from 8.4 has come to around 4.1, and this is the reason the methyl orange turns its color from yellow to red. In the acidic medium, the methyl orange is red in color. Now you can ask one question, that then why don't we use only methyl orange indicator? Why should we go for phenolphthalein indicator? It is because if you are not using phenolphthalein and only methyl orange indicator is added to the alkali mixture, we will not be able to determine the quantity of sodium hydroxide present in the alkali mixture along with sodium carbonate. We will get the total alkalinity present in the alkali mixture, but we cannot determine the substances separately that are present in the given alkali mixture. Now let us see what are the reagents that are required to perform such a titration. It's a simple method. We require only a standard solution of hydrochloric acid. So for this, we will prepare a 0.05 normal hydrochloric acid and fill it in the burette up to the 0 mark. Other than that, we need only phenolphthalein indicator and methyl orange indicator. Now draw a table on the same piece of paper where you are writing the reactions. So in the table, you draw 3 rows and 3 columns. Captions you give: volume of alkali mixture taken in the conical flask, P endpoint and M endpoint. P endpoint corresponds to phenolphthalein indicator endpoint and M endpoint corresponds to methyl orange indicator endpoint. Now, write down in the observation table 25 ml for the alkali mixture taken in the conical flask. That means we will pipette out 25 ml of the alkali mixture in the conical flask, to which 2 drops of phenolphthalein indicator is added, and the solution is then titrated against the standard hydrochloric acid filled in the burette. As soon as you will add the phenolphthalein indicator to the alkali mixture, the color will turn to pink because the pH is around 10, and at 10 pH the phenolphthalein gives pink color because it is the concentration of phenolphthalein ions which is very high compared to the hydrogen ions. Now when you will titrate this titrant with the standard hydrochloric acid filled in the burette, the color will change to colorless. That is, the pink color will discharge and the solution will become colorless. Note down this observation as P endpoint. Suppose it is 8 ml. So note down 8 ml as P endpoint. Add 2 drops of methyl orange indicator to the same titrant that has just now become colorless. And as soon as you will add the methyl orange indicator, it will turn to yellow because it is now slightly basic. The pH is around 8.4. Therefore, methyl orange will give a yellow color. Now titrate it with the hydrochloric acid beyond 8 ml from the burette till the color changes to red, and record this observation also in your observation table. Suppose it is 11 ml. Repeat the titration to get the concordant value. Now we know that P endpoint corresponds to complete neutralization of sodium hydroxide, but only half of the neutralization of sodium carbonate. So, what formula we will write? For this, for the determination of sodium carbonate, it will be 2m minus p. M minus p is written within the bracket, 2 outside the bracket. So 2m minus p, or you can say 2m minus 2p. Now we have recorded already m is 11, p is 8. So 11 minus 8 is 3, 2 into 3 is 6. That means 6 ml HCl is equivalent to sodium carbonate present in the given alkali mixture. Similarly, we can calculate for sodium hydroxide using the formula m minus 2m minus p. Already we have calculated 6 for 2m minus p and m is 11. So 11 minus 6 will be 5 ml. So 5 ml hydrochloric acid corresponds to sodium hydroxide present in the given alkali mixture, that is 25 ml alkali mixture. Now we can calculate the normality of sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate in the given 25 ml using the formula N1V1 is equal to N2V2. For sodium carbonate, it is 6 ml. So, how much normality of hydrochloric acid we have taken in the burette? 0.05. So, 0.05 into 6 divided by 25. 25 ml is the alkali mixture we have taken. So, if you calculate 0.05 into 6 divided by 25, you will get 0.012. That is the normality of sodium carbonate. For sodium hydroxide, it will be 0.05 into 5 divided by 25. That will be around 0.01. Now we already know that when the normality is multiplied with the equivalent weight, we get the strength in grams per liter. So sodium hydroxide equivalent weight is 40 and for sodium carbonate the equivalent weight is 53. Now we have calculated the normality of sodium carbonate, which is 0.012 multiplied with 53, you will get 0.636 grams per liter of sodium carbonate present in the given alkali mixture. And for sodium hydroxide, we have calculated normality as 0.01 multiplied with 40 and you will get 0.4 grams per liter of sodium hydroxide present in the given alkali mixture. So this is how we can calculate the sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate in caustic soda or in a given alkali mixture. Hope you have understood the method thoroughly. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box. Thank you for watching this video.